Live and direct, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Leadership Series here on the Los Angeles Tribune. And of course, I'm alongside somebody who I know, you guys love. Maybe you're like me and you've fallen asleep to his videos playing in the background. Of course, Evan Carmichael, one of the world's biggest thought leaders who's impacting tens, maybe hundreds of millions of people all over the world. And I'm so excited to have Evan Carmichael here with us. Evan, it's a pleasure and a privilege to have you on our platform. Thank you for taking time to be with us. And, you know, I know we have limited time, and the folks watching this all over the world want to take advantage of this opportunity to gain something powerful from the time that you and I are spending here together. One thing that I know about you is that you have truly studied success. You have truly studied leadership. You have truly engulfed yourself in all of these principles and all of these successful people. So the first thing I want to ask you, Evan, is what is the common theme that you have noticed, the common thread? You know, has there been a thread that you can point to and say, you know, this one thread is something that all successful people truly have?
Yeah. Well, hey, Mo, thanks for having me. First of all, I love the energy. I'm already fired up just hearing you come alive. It's great. Today is actually my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, man. And my assistant was looking at my calendar and said, hey, do you still want to do this thing? Because it's your birthday. You need, he's like, what? No, Mo, come on. We got to do this. We got to make this happen.
I love you, brother. I'm going to remember that forever. Happy birthday.
Thank you, man. To answer your question, I think it's belief. I think lack of belief is the world's number one problem. It's what I wake up every day trying to solve. I think if you look at the successful people, they believe that they could, where a lot of times it made no sense. You know, their background, their lack of funding, where someone like them, where they came from, nobody's ever done it. And yet they just didn't let that hold them back. Meanwhile, people with more resources, more intelligence, more smarts, they didn't win. Why? Well, the people believe that they could. If you look at the richest people in the world, look at who's self-made, like they're all entrepreneurs and they all came from pretty much nothing. You know, they all came from pretty much nothing, and they just got up and they believed in themselves and they took the action. So that's the one common thread. They believe that they can when everybody else tells them that they can't.
That's remarkable. And I agree. And first of all, just again, happy birthday on behalf of the entire Los Angeles Tribune team. We're excited to celebrate your birthday. This is not only a conversation with Evan Carmichael and myself, it's a celebration of his life's work and, you know, everything that he's accomplished in such a short amount of time that he's been here on this planet. You see, to me, Evan, a life is defined by the number of individuals that we impact. And by that definition, your life thus far has truly been a life of success. And I don't mean that with any hyperbole. I mean that in the most sincere way. So I want to thank you for spending time here on your birthday. Evan is by far one of the best motivational speakers and creators of content for self-improvement. Your stuff has changed my life. Thank you, Ryan Gray. Appreciate you for that lovely comment in the virtual auditorium. And, you know, Evan, when it comes to belief, that is a common thread. And I want to talk now a little bit about something called action. You know, what I know is that there's a lot of people that have a belief. There's a lot of people that, have a desire or even a definite purpose, as Napoleon Hill would call it. But you fast forward a few years later and they seem to be kind of in the same place without very little productivity. So what is another reason that people don't take that action? And how can the person listening to this that maybe has the belief but is having a problem with taking those action steps, what's something you can share to help them get the ball moving?
Yeah. And I mean, great question. And shout out to Ryan. Thank you, man. Appreciate the love. You guys got a great community here and it's an honor to be here. It's fear. You know, it's the fear. It's the fear that it's not going to work. It's the fear that people will judge you. We're not even afraid of failing. We're afraid of failing in front of people. You know, you'll sing in the shower, but you won't sing on the street corner. Why? Because you're afraid of judgment. You're afraid of what other people will say. And as long as you live your life based off of fear of other people's opinions and judgments, you're never going to live your great life. And then you get to the end of your life and say, I wish I had done that. Back in 2021, I wish I had done that thing. I could have done it. I could have, in all honesty, I could have done it. I had a chance, had a great idea, and I was just too afraid to do it. And now it's over. Now I can't. the way that I find is best to go through it is one, just expect to suck at the start. Whatever your first thing is, for some reason, we expect to be great at the beginning. We expect our first YouTube video to be great. We expect our first interview to be great. You know, like you're great at what you do, but it's not your first interview. And if we compare this interview to your very first one, the first one probably sucked. And that's just part of the process. Like, expect not to just get on a bike and ride. You're going to get on a bike and fall over a million times. And as kids, we do that. But then for whatever reason, as we get older, we shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink. And then we stop trying stuff because we're afraid it's going to fail. So just expect to suck at the beginning. Expect to get no results. Expect it not to work out. Awesome. Tie our self-worth to the effort of trying as opposed to just the results that we're getting. Next, the thing that I find really helpful is tie it to service. Why are you doing this thing? If it's just because you're trying to make $1 million, then you're going to quit. It's not a good enough reason. Making money is important. It just can't be your number one reason. Some people have money as number one. Some people have money as 1,000. You know, making money is the root of all, evil. So money is not evil. You need money. Every business, even a charity, needs money. It just can't be number one. What's number one? The mission you're on, the vision you've got. So when you tie it to service, I find that it eliminates a lot of the excuses. I mean, you've interviewed some great people here on your channel. Whenever I do a big interview, I get super nervous. I had Matthew McConaughey on the channel not too long ago, and I was so nervous to do the interview because I don't really know him, because I cover entrepreneurs usually.
Right.
I mean, I know him as an actor, but I'm not going to say, "Hey, wow, what a great actor you are." It's like I need to have. I don't have the natural Mo abilities to pull stuff out, so
I appreciate you.
I was worried and nervous, and the thing that helps me, I mean, I was pretty much a wreck the day of. I couldn't focus on anything else. But what helps me is I think about, hey, this isn't even about me. It's about the audience. It's about the people I'm trying to serve, that maybe I can pull out something out of Matthew that can serve somebody else through his story and his wisdom and his inspiration. And so that always helps me too. So whatever you're doing, if you can remember why you're doing it, and it's hopefully of service to somebody else, then that can give you the courage to just start.
I love that, because when you have a service-based mentality, it's no longer about you, right? And it also reminds me of some words that Maslow said about being the self-actualized person, how the self-actualized man is somebody that is free from the good opinion of others, not just the negative opinion of others. So a lot of people also have this misunderstanding, Evan. Oh, screw what the haters say, right? I'm going to do me, right? Like that's a good level to be at. But what Maslow taught me, and what I'd love to hear your thoughts on this quote, is to be free even from the good opinion of others. Because I believe that what he was alluding to was to be truly self-actualized, you're free from the opinion of others, period. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah. So I like it. My thought process is a little different on that. I actually don't like the term haters. I don't think there really are haters.
Right.
I think everybody is good. I think if you're human, you're good. I think 99.999% of us, I mean, you might have some tiny percentage of people who've got some brain chemical misfunction and they enjoy killing people or something. But for the most part, we're good.
Absolutely.
We're good. We want to serve. Everybody is good and wants to serve. Okay, so why would somebody who's good and want to serve come and leave a nasty comment on your YouTube video? Come and write a nasty review of your article or whatever? Why would they do that? Well, they're in a lot of pain. And so think about yourself. If you were stressed out, in a lot of pain, dealing with a million different things, the world seems to be falling apart, did you always show up as your best self to the people around you? Probably not. You might have said some things that you regret later on, right? Because you were stressed out and in pain in the moment. And so when somebody leaves a really nasty comment, if you think about somebody coming to my YouTube video, the highlight of their day is leaving some negative comment, where all of my content is positive, right? If anybody's watching my content, it's always believe, it's always positive. There's never slamming people. I mean, my channel would probably be bigger if I attacked people instead of praised what you can learn from them. So if somebody's coming to a channel that's designed to help people believe in themselves more, and the highlight of their day is leaving some nasty comment, how much of a bad life does this person have for themselves? Like, how much pain are they in? Because if if they're built to serve, and I assume they're a good person. So what that does is, I don't even see it as, praise versus criticism. It's more, this person is in a lot of pain. I have empathy for them. And that removes the sting of the words, because there's often a lot of feedback that you can get in the criticism, but because it's worded so callously, you can't hear it. But if you can remove the sting and just say, hey, this person is just in a lot of pain, is there actually anything in here that I can learn from? And maybe it's a yes, maybe it's a no. But I think if you can shift your mindset, instead of haters or praise and ignore both, towards, and this is just me, I mean, Maslow is, a lot smarter than me, and a lot of smart people have followed. But that's at least how I approach it. Is like, everybody's good. Everybody wants to serve. People who aren't are just in a lot of pain, and I have empathy for, not like sympathy, not like I'm better than you. Look at you, you have such a bad life. More like actually feeling empathy that, man, this person's in a ton of pain, and then the words don't stick to you as much and make you feel bad about yourself.
That's so powerful. That's so powerful. And you're describing a true heart-centered leader. And I'm glad you brought up the distinction between empathy and sympathy, because I think that gets misunderstood quite a bit by a lot of people. So that's truly a profound way of looking at it, is to truly live an empathy-based, service-based life. And I can't believe that even you have haters. I mean, come on. This is like the nicest YouTube channel on the planet, helping the most amount of people, and people still are writing those kind of comments. So leave those comments on my page. Stop leaving them on Evan's page.
On, Mo.
But no, with that being said, and I totally agree with your perspective on it for sure. And, I want the people listening to this to stop worrying so much about the opinion of others. And some people might say, well, guys, it's easier said than done. And you and I can have a conversation and say, stop worrying about the opinion of others. Go out there, write that book. Go out there, start that business. Go out there, chase your dream. Go out there, record that song, whatever it is. And what is something, because I know we're running limited here on time in the next 10 minutes or so, what are just a couple pointers you can point out for them to get out of their own head and start getting more into their heart, and start getting more into the service, start getting more into the movement? And I know that's kind of a reoccurring theme today, but I think it's so important for us to hit that home, because especially right now, I see a lot of people are kind of just still. We've sort of been shell-shocked. A lot of people have kind of been shell-shocked this last year. They're sort of like a deer in front of headlights. And I've noticed the consistent common theme is that people just are not moving. They're just, stagnant. So what is something that you and I can share with them today to help push them forward?
I think there are great ideas constantly coming to us, to me, to you, to everybody in the audience. And great ideas will continue to come to you that are of service to people, that make you come alive. Like, it's impossible to shut off the tap of new ideas coming to you. I think the challenge is just actually taking that step. And my advice would be, whenever your reason for not doing something is somebody else's opinion, you have to go do the thing. Just because. Right. Even if it's not on brand. Just because. So today, for example, there's a South African song called Pata Pata, which I got into, and I wanted to learn the lyrics. And there's only like one line that's in English, and the rest is I don't understand the language. So I'm in slow motion, taking the song down to 50%, trying to figure out the lyrics, and then I finally get it. And I was so happy that I would get it. And I said, I'm gonna film me singing this song. And in my head is like, I'm not gonna film me singing this song. It's crazy. I can't sing. You don't want to hear me sing. That's not even a language I understand. So I'm probably going to make tons of mistakes. And because that was the soundtrack in my head, then I had to do it.
Right. Just because
I don't want to squash my ideas that come to me based off of somebody else's opinion. The intention is not negative, right? I mean, that's, if the intention was, I'm going to show this person how dumb they are. Okay.
Right.
Sit on that, come back to it tomorrow, meditate. But if the intention is not negative, then lean in on it. And so I did. I filmed it. I took out my phone. I filmed it on my Instagram story. I'm bouncing on my trampoline, and I'm excited. And at the end, I actually knock over the phone. When I finish the song because I'm too excited, great, post, right? And I posted it. If anybody's familiar with my content, that's totally off brand of me featuring different successful entrepreneurs. Nobody's subscribing to me to listen to me
Right.
sing, but because that was the voice in my head, I had to go off and do it. And I think the more that you do that, the more you can catch it, and the more you train yourself to pat yourself on the back to reward yourself for the effort that you're putting in. And when you do that, then you care less about other people's opinions, good or bad. We're not living for somebody else's life. We're living for our own, of what makes us proud. So I'm not expecting any results from that. I'm not expecting a recording contract coming out of
Right.
that video, but I'm proud that I did it. And that's, I think, how you start to build your self-worth, your self-esteem. It's not in these macro, big, giant things that we do. It's in the daily little micro decisions of deciding again today that I'm going to make myself proud. We have chances. You have 100 chances a day to make yourself proud.
I love that.
You want to play small, but you know what? No, I don't care. I'm going to make that phone call. I'm going to send that email. I'm going to release that video. I'm going to ask that guest to come on my show. Even if they say no, I'm going to ask. And then you pat yourself on the back each time, or you give yourself a high five to say, I did that scary thing. Let's go.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. And, there's a couple things that occur for me as you're sharing that story. One is, especially in a world today where practically everyone is a personal brand. I mean, look, even if you're a plumber or a chiropractor or a carpenter, you're a personal brand now, right? Everyone is a personal brand. And a lot of people are thinking, well, is this my brand? Is it not my brand? And I think that sort of kind of eliminates the human element in the content when you're always trying to do something quote unquote on brand. So I love that message, because right now I think just being a human being is the secret, right? And just being an authentic human being. Like, society has gone to a point where PR campaigns and the stuff that, Edward Bernays used to talk about, it's sort of not as effective because we've become so inundated with different polished material that we see through it as a society. So just to be a human being singing patata, right, is refreshing for a lot of people. So I love that message. I definitely want to talk a little bit today before we let you go and continue your birthday, is this Movement Maker program that you've got going on, which is truly remarkable. And when we talk about leadership, and this program, of course, is about leadership, a true leader creates a movement. And I'm excited to hear more about the impact that you're making by helping other people make their impact and their dent in the world. Would you care to share a little bit about some of the success stories that have happened from your Movement Maker, and what inspired you to start this?
Yeah, so Movement Makers is a program I do twice a month. We actually had it this morning on my birthday. It was super fun. And the idea is to take people who want to be thought leaders, who want to build their brand and have a message, but you've got a deep message you want to put out there to the world to inspire, to show what's possible. And you struggle with guidance of what to do next, of community, of how do I be around people who are also like-minded. I think a lot of the problem is we're around people who don't believe in us, who don't support us, who say you're crazy to do that. And so we meet twice a month around topics that people care about. So today's topic was, do I self-publish or do I go with a publisher? Pros and cons. I've done 4 books, 2 with publishers, 2 without publishers, sharing my insights. And then it's really important that people get connected to each other. So lots of businesses have been done, lots of joint ventures, lots of collaborations have been done, because it's one thing to get the guidance and support from somebody who's done it. So you're learning from me in the live training, but then also to be around other people so that you're not alone, so that you've got a family to turn to. It's a family that you choose. Tons of encouraging people. Because it's a lonely game, and what devastates me is seeing heart-focused entrepreneurs who are trying to get started who quit too soon because they don't believe in themselves enough. They don't have the support around them. They don't get enough momentum, and then their life mission dies on the table, and they end up spending the rest of their life working for some corporation that they hate. So,
yeah.
You got me all excited. I mean, that's my baby. Movement Makers is my baby.
I love that. I love that. And I want the folks watching this who are resonating to check that out, because this is the real deal. And I'm excited for not only the leaders that come out of that movement, but the domino effect that you're creating with that, right? And so I'm excited to just watch the work that you're going to do in the next few years with that. I'm going to keep my eyes on it for sure. And thank you for sharing a little bit more about that. And, Evan, I know we're going to wrap up here in just a few minutes. So I'm going to be, but I'm not going to ask too many questions about this because we could go on and on and on. But one of your books, of course, is about confidence. And this is such an important subject matter, Evan. I want to hit rewind a little bit. When you're talking about people that sort of give up, it reminds me of what Wayne Dyer said. Don't die with the music still inside of you. It's so important not to die with that music still inside of you. And so sign up, look into the programs of Evan. I mean, it's one thing to watch the YouTube channel. That's amazing. You definitely want to spend time doing that, but to actually interact with Evan and to have that community, and like you said, a family that you choose, right? Which is very important to have in life, that support system. And the message here is don't die with the music still inside of you. So we're going to have the links and all the information on the Los Angeles Tribune for you guys to check that out. And what I'd love to do, though, is talk about this book that you also wrote, Confidence. I think that a lot of people die with the music still inside of them because they have confidence issues. And so when you were writing that book and when you were doing research, what was something that you discovered that we can share with the audience here as we wrap up the next few minutes?
Yeah, and I love how you're bringing up. I mean, you got Maslow and Wayne Dyer. You're bringing all the classics back. It's great, dude. I love it so much. The 254 confidence. The idea is it takes up to 254 days to build a habit. So we have this as a video series on YouTube, but it's also a book where it gives you a challenge for 254 days to go do something. So if you want to build your confidence, it's a combination of one, getting the burst of courage, like listening to Mo. How are you not a little more confident after listening to Mo, right? It's just got to happen. But what ends up happening is that there's a half-life to it, right? So maybe tomorrow you wake up and it's not there as much, and the next day then it's gone. So the motivation is good. Listening to Mo is great. It's the spark, but then you got to go do something. So the best thing you can do after reading a good book or after joining a program or after listening to a good talk or hanging out with Mo is then take that energy and go create something. Take the energy that Mo is giving you and go make your own video or ask somebody to do an interview with you. Action, not research, because I think we spend most of our best time on research. Oh, that's great. I'm so motivated for my new idea. I'm going to go research all these different things I could do. And then you wake up the next day and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do any of that stuff. I was crazy yesterday. No. You were you yesterday. You're crazy now. Like that was your best you. When you're feeling bold, confident, alive, and ideas come to you, those are the best ideas for you. And then your head talks you down for the rest of your life as to why you can't do it. So the best thing to do is not waste our energy on research. Research is important. Plan is important, but it's not the first step. The first step is action. The first step, if you watch a Mo video, you get inspired, you're motivated, go do something. Go ask somebody for an interview. And then the next day you wake up, it's like, oh my God, what'd I do? I asked that person? That's crazy. But you're committed now because you took the action. And so I'm trying in as many ways as possible by writing books, by being on videos, by joining shows like yours to try to just give people that little jolt as well, to then give them the motivation to actually take a step. Like the best thing you can do after watching this video, besides leaving some, comments for Mo and subscribing and all that fun stuff, is to then take one small bit of action on the thing that you've been delaying for weeks or months or years.
Appreciate you, Evan. Evan Carmichael, thank you for spending some time on your birthday with us. Evan Carmichael is an emerging leader of this planet, and he is taking the baton that some of the greats used previously, and he is bringing it in the digital medium. So thank you, Evan Carmichael, not only for spending time here with us, but for the work that you're doing, impacting millions and millions of people around the world. If in the last few seconds that we have, any comments that you can make about the Los Angeles Tribune and our mission to create leaders around the world?
I love it, dude. I love what you're doing. I love that you're doing that. You've found a way to do this interview show, to bring on people who you want to get their message out, that you're still making community focused and you're bringing people in, your virtual audience. And I love the little stage that you got set up behind there. I think a lot of traditional media companies have had a hard time pivoting and staying relevant. And I love what you're doing. Most traditional newspapers would not get someone as dynamic as Mo Rock, ladies and gentlemen, to come on and host this kind of show. And so I'm a big fan. It was an immediate yes for me. And when, again, my assistant said, do you want to postpone because it's your birthday? Like, no. Postpone the other stuff.
Whenever you're in California, Evan, let me know. We have a belated birthday celebration we're going to do here in Southern California. So whenever you're in town, I'm expected to hear from you. And with that, Evan Carmichael, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mo.